Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a while since I've posted an actual story to my Patreon. Thank you for your patience. Let us go ahead and dive in. So some time ago, I was in college and I had a very, very different appearance in college. I feel like in college, my main goal was to pass nursing school, get a job, and move out. I love my family. They are tremendous. They are exceptional human beings. But at the time, there were a lot of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, mind you, things have significantly improved since then. My mother has purchased a beautiful 2-story home. There's significant space. It's expensive. It's beautiful. Obviously, things have changed. At that time, I was ready to go. And there was nothing that anyone could tell me to stop me, to slow me down. I wasn't interested in dating. I wasn't interested in going out. I wasn't interested in the average college young adult life. I just wanted to graduate. And nursing school, you know, has its reputation for being a doozy, and I didn't want anything to get in the way. So, prior to me actually even getting into nursing school, there were a series of courses, obviously, that you have to take and that you have to pass, and some of them are electives. Electives that aren't even really associated with nursing school. It's just associated with you being able to graduate from the school. And in one of those courses, I had developed a friendship with this young woman. We can call her Myra. No, let's not call her Myra. I actually have a friend named Myra. Monica. We'll call her Monica. Monica was cool. Monica was funny. Monica thought I was funny. Monica had expressed herself in the most interesting of ways, and I thought it was great. And I was happy that she was not at all in question of who she was, like, you know, young women usually are at this age and, you know, a little bit younger. So we had conversations about a number of things. We had a lot of things in common. You know, we hung out occasionally outside of school, but the majority of it was us just hanging out at the school while I studied or did a project or did an assignment that I needed the library for, because we also didn't have a printer. So ultimately we ended up spending a lot of time together, but it wasn't necessarily on purpose. It was kind of by default. And I hope I'm not trying to make it sound like I didn't want to spend time with her. But like I said, my priority was passing nursing school and graduating and getting out. So she just was there, and we developed a friendship as a result. So there was one afternoon, I had this really old, cheap 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee that I purchased at an auction. And there would be days where it would not start. And I would have to fight with it. And it wouldn't have anything to do with the battery. Sometimes a jump start would work, sometimes it wouldn't. And when I had the battery looked at, I would always hear the same thing: your battery's fine. We didn't know what was wrong with it, but again, I'm like, I cannot do this right now. I just needed to get me through nursing school. Jesus, please. So there was one late evening where it wasn't starting, and I was sick of it. I was upset. I was in my feelings because I was already not really doing terribly well in one of my nursing courses. I was starting to get discouraged. And then, of course, here I go to start my car to go home and cry, and it doesn't start. And my friend, Monica, was with me. Monica didn't have a car. Monica was picked up and dropped off. Whomever it was that was picking her up and dropping her off, bless their soul, because homegirl would be with me at the school until whenever I was done. It was a different time every time, and they would just come get her So she was just kicking it with me in the car. She was like, do you want me to call my friend, or do you want me to call my dad, or do you want me to call whomever, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, no, I don't really want to bother anybody with my car again. I'm just going to wait for my brother. And she was like, okay, cool. And she's just keeping me company in the car. And then she starts talking to me, and she was like, I've been meaning to ask you a question. There's this girl that I really like. And I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that you were interested in women. I didn't know. That goes to show how invested into myself I was. But also at the same time, we never talked about relationships. We never talked about love interests. We never talked about anything. We talked about a bunch of random stuff. Let me not say we didn't talk about anything. Obviously, because we did have things in common. We talked about other things, but nothing love and romantic and relationship related. That all being said, she's telling me about this person, and she was like, she's really cool. She's really funny, really beautiful. I love how she wears her hair, and her details are getting more and more specific. And she was like, my favorite thing about her are her lips. I'm like, what do you, it sounds like you really like her. It sounds like you've liked her for a long time. What are you asking me though? Like, am I just a listening ear? I mean, I'm here. It's not like I'm going anywhere. I can be a listening ear, but are you asking me something? And she was like, I think I'm asking you out. I felt very uncomfortable. Not gonna lie. I did. And I need y'all to understand something. I did not start a serious relationship until well into my 20s. Well into my 20s. So at 19, I was still far removed from any relationship type of experience, expressing myself, having somebody express themselves to me. I didn't know what to do with it. So I was like, oh, why would you do that? And so then she kind of adjusts her body to face me. And I was like, oh, shit, this is really happening. This is happening. And she was like, I kind of want to see where this is going to go. I am going to be completely honest with you. I know where this is going to go. It's not going to go far. Because I do not share the same interest. And she was like, oh. And I'm like, well, no, it's not you specifically. It's the fact that you're a woman and I am interested in men. And she was like, oh, okay, well, how do you know if you've never tried? Baby girl, that's not how this works. That is not how this works. Excuse me. I was at a loss for words. And so we kind of sat there in silence because I was trying to tell her in the most polite way, I don't need to try. Just like how you know that you are interested in women, I know that I am interested in men. And so eventually I settled on saying around those same words. Something along those lines. And she was like, well, we could give it a shot. Like, it doesn't have to be a committed thing. Girl, come on. Now let's just set this whole situation aside. Anybody that tells me that they're going to try to like me, forget it. Forget about it. Forget it. You mean to tell me that I'm certain that I like you already, and I'm okay with convincing myself that you're going to try to like me? No. And so I said as much. I said, I feel like it would be unfair for me to try something that I'm already pretty certain of, while you are also already certain. You are already aware that this is what you like. I am already aware that this is not what I like. So this experiment would really just be more disrespectful to you, if anything. Like, it's not going to be fair. I'm saying I already know. This is not what you want because it's not what I want. You want you want the two of you to want the same things. This is not how this is going to work. Y'all, as I'm explaining that to her, she's just sort of nodding, avoiding eye contact with me. And I'm thinking, okay, now I have to like avoid you beyond this interaction because I am not good with awkward situations. Ooh, excuse me. And my phone rings. And it was my brother telling me that he was about 3 minutes away and that he wants me to tell him, like, you know, where I'm at specifically on campus. Am I at building D, building G, building E, building H, whatever. And so I answered the phone. I said, I'm at building G. And he's like, oh, I'm pulling up to building G now. And I was like, oh, true. And I'm turning around to see, and I don't see him. And as I'm turning back around to look the other way, a kiss was planted here, right here. I'm sure that she was aiming elsewhere. But because I stopped my pursuit in checking the other side, the kiss landed here, okay? It was then that I felt that I needed to ask her to get out the car. I said, oh, no, you gotta get out. You gotta get out. And she was like, what, are you serious? I'm like, girl, come on. Like, I made it abundantly clear. I was polite, very kind, okay? I'm flattered, but also I am well aware of my sexuality. And then you disregarding that and still attempting to kiss me, thinking that I'm automatically just going to change my mind. This is not a romantic comedy. This is real life. I said no. And no means no. For everybody that you say it to. Get out the car. So she gets out as my brother pulls up, and as my brother's walking towards me, she storms past my brother, and my brother was like, whoa, what's going on? And I was like, I really don't even want to talk about it. Just get my car going so I can go home and just sit with everything that is happening. School, my car, homegirl, get me home. So, needless to say, I didn't see homegirl around campus at all. Not at all. I didn't see her anywhere. Fast forward multiple years later, I am now pursuing my bachelor's degree at a university, another university, and I'm walking across campus at this next school, and I see someone that looks very similar to her, and I'm like, nah, that's not her. And I just keep walking, and then I look back over for whatever reason, and it is her, and she sees me, and she smiles extra hard and waves extra hard at me and beckons me to come over, and I'm like, no. I'll see you later. You do you, boo-boo. I'll see you later. Y'all, I am not good in awkward situations. And I knew that several years had come and gone, but I would have probably still felt just as awkward approaching. So, that is how that story ends. Let me know how you think about how I handled it, both when it was happening and the several years later. In the meantime, make sure you guys take a listen to my podcast, Zyla. I have so many beautiful updates for you guys, one of which being the campaign that I am running to raise money. So if you guys would please be so kind as to donate to it so that we can get this project off the ground and get it on a major network. Thank you. I'm going to post the link. Thank you so much for your love and your support.